All right, looks like we're having a little technical difficulties. All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Staten Island Soccer Report. And as soon as we get cleared up there in the booth there, maybe we'll be able to see. Oh, here we go. Alongside me, as always, Frank Tricomi. Oh, is it Brian? No, you're Frank. Frank, welcome back. Frank Tricomi, head coach, assistant coach, referee.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Frank.
All right, pleasure to be here. I know I've been on a little hiatus. I think since November, I believe. So it's been a long time. You know, I believe an imposter sat in my seat for a couple of months over here, wearing a Greg Hill shirt. I can assure you, fans out there, that it was not me, and those views expressed there were not mine.
Yeah, definitely missed you there. But you know what? It went fast. I tell you, November, we're in February. Went by pretty quick.
Not quick enough with the white stuff.
Well, they got the camera pointed on you, so take it, Frankie. You got to take it and run. There you go. Yeah, I hope Brian LaPure behind the glass there directing tonight, and alongside with Kenny. The guys do a great job every time. So I mean, if we start off with a little glitch here and there, it's not a problem. So, anything new going on? What's the word on the island?
Not really much going on right now.
Yeah, we're in February, right? The snow's got us buried in.
Yeah, you know.
I guess there's some indoor tournaments going on.
Yeah.
Yes,
there are. I wasn't able to make them, so.
The Patrides Winter Classic, that was in January.
Yes.
That, I'm sure, went off and was a great month. They spread it throughout the whole month, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think they spread it out, you know.
Yeah. So I'm sure that went off well. I wasn't able to catch any of the games. But I also know that they have a March Madness coming up in probably a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
They got that going on. That'll last for the month of March.
Yeah.
And before you know, we'll be outdoors playing soccer again.
Yeah, exactly.
I know your team is going to start practicing early March.
Yeah, we're going to start sometime early March, early to mid-March.
Now, is that both teams, your boys' team that you coach, or is it the Starlets, the Great Kills?
The Starlets, I'm not sure about.
No, we got to get Sal on the show. We really got to get, Sal, if you're out there, really, reach out and we got to get him on.
Yeah.
We definitely need to get him on before the season.
All right.
You're his assistant there, so.
I'll try to see what I can do.
Yeah, we got to get him on and get the scoop on what's going on over there. How's the team doing? And
yeah. You know, I have a feeling that that team will be starting to practice sometime, probably late March. I'll start a little bit earlier with the boys. Yeah. We'll probably start like early to mid-March, maybe like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that snow out there on the field, I drove by Hollow today, and it's just like 3 feet of snow.
Yeah.
And when's that gonna melt? We need a good rain. Like an all-day rain, maybe, to wash it away.
Not too much.
50 degrees.
We don't want to be up to our knees in water.
Yeah. The thing is, you got to shovel it out, get it out of the way where it's not going to flood you. Yeah, but, speaking of that, I've heard today, like roofs are coming in, like caving in houses and stuff. That's how bad in Jersey. Right?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They say if you got a flat roof, you got to...
I think it's safe to say we got hammered this winter, right? With snow, and winter just hammered everybody.
But ironically enough, it wasn't the worst one ever. The worst one ever came in the 95-96 season.
Well, since then, it seems like it's the worst
But
one.
I remember getting maybe 30 inches of snow that year. Yeah. That was actually the first year that I was driving.
Right.
And this is why I'm so fearless driving, because when you learn how to drive in that, you could drive in anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
But I don't remember getting that 70 inches. But
that's what they say.
Apparently we got it.
So. I'm hoping this is the last of it. I hope we don't have any. I have a funny feeling we're going to have another. We're going to get hit with another one.
I heard some flakes for actually next week.
I'll take flakes.
This weekend.
Well, there's flakes are all over the place. Speaking of flakes.
Some are snow, some are just
flakes. Yeah. Speaking of flakes, there's a flake on Facebook, but I forget his name. We got to get a hold of him. I'm trying to get this charity game going on in the spring.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to get maybe a couple producers from the studio here that want to play soccer, for a good cause.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of guys together and we'll have it. It might not look like, professional game. But you know what? People try, and again, it's going to go for a good cause. You know,
as long as you don't Charlie Brown the ball, I guess.
No. So, other than that, we got the March Madness. I know that's coming up for the month of March. Anything new? Get any new players for your team, and did you lose any players?
I actually reported last week on my show, the Spectacular Variety Show, that airs one Wednesday before this, the second Wednesday of the month.
Right.
Same time, same channel, channel 35, I believe, for Fios at 8:30.
Right.
That I did lose two significant players.
Then, yeah.
One that was with me since the team's inception over at Richmond Town, which is obviously a little disappointing.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, sometimes the grass seems greener on the other side, and
to each his own. If that's what they want to do, you can't hold them down.
Yeah, so
there's no contracts here.
I believe that they received their release, and we're set to move on. Like I said, unfortunately, there were two of the players that were a little bit more into it and a little bit more skilled, but
it happens. People move on for whatever reason.
Oh, and another thing about the Great Kill Sting, at least that I noticed, specifically, they did. I believe they came out with the placements.
Okay.
We've sunk, the first U8 season, as you know.
Right.
They do the seeding based on record, and we did sink all the way to D4, which was to be expected.
So that'd be good. I think that should be good for you.
With a 0-8 season, you're gonna expect.
Listen. Speaking personally for both of our experiences, the Rush set. When we coached the Richmond Town Rush, the bar was set so high, and no one's really ever gonna come close to that. Maybe there's one team that can come close to the way we performed. It's hard. It's gonna be hard. If I started up a team tomorrow, I don't think we'd have the success that we had with that Rush team. So I know that's always in the back of your mind because your losses were like far and few, right?
Yeah.
So it's just tough. Now you just go with what you got. Try, you try to do your best, and as long as the kids are happy, that's what they say.
Yeah, you always got to make sure, you're having fun. That's obviously the
keep the parents happy, keep the kids happy, do the best you can. Once you can't do those two things anymore, then it's just time to just go on and maybe just let your own kid play, and then, that's it, pack it in. But it's got to be definitely a team. Parents definitely have to have a big part of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely, this season, I'm actually going to try to get some more parents involved. I'll look for a little bit more help.
Yeah.
This way, it kind of takes a little bit of the pressure off me, and just kind of more delegating certain things rather than have total control.
You've had the experience with the Rush. You know what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
But again, everyone has to be committed. It's got to be one team. You can't have a bad apple in there, otherwise.
Well, yeah.
It's gonna spoil it for everybody, and that's probably ultimately what happened.
Yeah.
And then again, don't forget, you also have players that want to get to the next level. You can't ever hold anybody down. You never want to do that. As a player, you want to let them go.
Yeah.
So you move on. All right. So you're going to be in Division 4.
Yes.
There's a lot of teams. That's good. It's good. It's four different divisions. There you go, 6 in the division. 4. How many? 5 teams in the division. That's a lot. That's good. A lot of teams.
Let me check on that right now. Let's see if we.
While you're checking on that, what about the girls' team that the Great Kills Starlets?
I believe
they remain in the 2nd division, I believe, right?
Let me just check on that just to give you a concrete answer.
Well, while Frank is looking that up, I think we had a couple of Champion Leagues games today, Frank. I know Milan played. They lost 1-0 after coming off a huge win on Friday against Bologna. I think we're going to, in a few moments, we'll show a clip of Super Mario's goal that he scored with about 5 minutes to go in the game. Super Mario scored a goal from, I think, 40 yards out. And as soon as I give Brian the signal, we'll play that. We'll play that clip. With any luck, Frank?
Yes. The Starlets will be in Division 2 once again.
Okay, so they stay. There's only 2 divisions for the U10 girls, right?
Yeah.
They didn't. There's any more teams? No.
There. It looks like 7 teams in Division 2 and 8 in Division 1.
Anybody new?
Nobody new.
Same team.
The only teams that were changed were the Holy Child Chameleons, St. Patrick Stars, and Our Lady Helper Christian moved to D2.
All right, so let's start from the top. U10 girls Division 1. Who's in there?
Patrides, of course.
Right.
The Blue Dolphins, Our Lady Good Counsel.
They deserve to be there.
The Richmond Town Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
The St. Joseph St. Thomas Lady Stars.
Okay.
The Star of the Sea Starfish.
Star of the Sea definitely belongs there.
St. Joseph Hill Academy Blue Comets.
Back up 1 second. Star of the Sea won Division 2 last season, so they definitely belong in 1. Okay. And the Comets belong in 1. Where did they finish last year?
The Comets finished with a 6-1-1 record.
And they're in. Okay, so they're in Division 1 now. Wow, that's going to be a tough division.
And the St. Charles Wildcats.
In Division 1?
Yes.
They don't belong in Division 1.
The thing is, with teams like the Starfish and the Wildcats and even the Comets, they're kind of like those tweener teams.
Yeah.
Where they're going to basically, unless they add a significant player or drop a significant player, I could see them going on like this for 2-3 years until we hit U14, until these go, because they're good enough to win Division 2, and then when it gets to Division 1, it gets a little bit more competitive for them, and they're kind of going back and forth, which it's good in a sense to be challenged, and it's also good when you drop down to D2. It gives, I guess, the girls a sense of accomplishment if they can pull off a win.
You know what? I think they should break the teams down four team divisions. That's what I think they should do. Four teams in a division. This way you keep the cream of the crop together, and then you break it down. And then mediocre.
Yeah, but then again.
No, you work up your way. You got 3 stages to go instead of 2.
Yeah.
Instead of 1, actually. You're not going from 2 to 1. You're gonna go from 3, 2, and then 1.
Yeah, I think it might have been
That's the way I would do it.
You got 15 teams. You can make 5, 5, and 5.
Yeah, who am I? But I'm nobody. That's the way I would do it. Make it more fun.
You might have to buy too many trophies, though. So
well, you know what? I give each kid 2 trophies if I had to. But now let's go over Division 2 before we wrap up this U10 girls division. The reason why we're going over U10 is because you coach. You're an assistant coach on one of the teams, so we're going to go over.
Okay, then we have the Holy Child Chameleons.
We got Division 2 U10 girls. Okay, Holy Child.
St. Patrick Stars.
Okay.
Our Lady Helper Christian Magic.
Okay. Yes, that's good.
The Blessed Sacrament Crickets.
Okay, they belong in Division 2.
The Great Kill Starlets.
Okay.
The Our Lady Queen of Peace Cardinals.
Right. All Division 2 teams. Yeah.
And the Patrides Panther Pride.
Oh, yeah. Patrides Panthers. Boy, that's that other team.
I
tell you, I feel that's a shame. They should have mixed up the 2 teams and made it like somewhat, even. That one team, they haven't won a game. I don't even think did they even score a goal? That was tough. That was tough for them last season. I refereed a couple of those games.
They went
and it was
0-7-1.
Yeah, 1 tie. All right.
They got 3 goals for
they got 3.
and 33 against.
Wow, that's tough. That's tough. I hope they mixed it up a little going into the spring. I really hope they did something to help that team out.
Now, speaking about Patrides,
and there's no coach in this planet that could help that. They just need some better players.
Well,
really, just get some better players. Mix it up.
Yeah.
We're talking about the kid. How does a kid gonna feel after every game they lose? How are they gonna feel? They're not gonna want to come back and play. They're not gonna want to play as they get older. They're already 10 years old, right?
Yeah.
U10, U11.
Yeah.
They're going into U11 in September. Anyway.
Now,
we'll see.
speaking about Patrides, just as a little side note for myself, they added a Patrides team to Division 4 for the boys, U8.
Yeah.
So that should
all
friends,
amp up the rivalry a little bit more.
Yeah, you know how we feel about them.
So Frank, going down the road a little bit here, let's stir things up. We got plenty of time on the show, and we're gonna touch up on some professional sports. Hopefully, we'll get a couple callers in. Brian LaPierre is doing a good job on the other side there. Hey,
stir things up.
We're gonna
stir right my alley.
We're gonna stir a few things up here. What's your plans after this season? Your contract ends here with Great Kills after this season. Anything on the horizon here? Anything maybe like going back to Richmond Town or anything like that?
Nah, I don't really see that.
You don't see that happening
in my future, even though it has been suggested.
Listen, I heard rumors. There's been rumors on the internet and
on the message
social
boards, right?
Networking, stuff like all kinds of stuff.
People are tweeting Coach Frank.
Reporters chasing you, waiting outside your house. They don't want to know. People want to know. The people of Staten Island need to know what your plans are. I understand if you don't want to say anything now, but you're gonna have to answer this question.
Yeah, I know you. If nothing else, I know you'll keep asking it.
Well, this is what this show is all about: reporting soccer,
like
the
hot
facts.
Stove soccer.
That was last month, but on this show we report the facts of soccer on the island, off the island, in the country, all over the country, everywhere. So we report the facts. But anyway. If you do decide to make any kind of decision, stay with them, go somewhere else, please announce it on this show. Make the announcement here, all right?
I will.
All right.
Will do.
All right. As far as the Great Kills team, the girls team, anything going on there? I mean, we need Sal, I know, but what can you give us? Anything? Can you give us anything on that team? Have you spoken to Sal lately?
I haven't spoken to him.
Okay.
In some time.
All right.
Just kind of got wrapped up.
Yeah.
With some winter.
The winter time is the longest layoff, and you kind of get lost.
You know what's weird about this whole thing with the winter?
Yeah.
It's just the winter break is actually longer than the summer break.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
almost double. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. The summer break you end in late June, and then you're right back at it. As we used to go back at it
a month.
In mid-August.
Yeah, a month and a half, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this break seems to stretch like
a long time.
December, January, February. Unfortunately, I didn't secure a practice spot for the winter.
Especially if you don't do anything indoors.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to seem like forever.
It was just a little bit difficult. I think I lost a little bit.
So it's safe to say nothing to report on the Great Kills Starlets?
No, they were supposed to go into that Good U Center, Good U tournament in Snug Harbor.
That got
the indoor league. Unfortunately, due to lack of participation,
all right.
that didn't take off.
Since we have a few minutes, the Super Bowl wrapped up a few weeks ago. And I tell you what a bummer that was, huh?
Yeah,
Super Bowl. What?
Unfortunately, it wasn't much of a game from the start.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on that Super Bowl because I did go out and purchase my, if I can get it on the camera, my Super Bowl mug only because it was played in New York.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying this after the Super Bowl. It was on sale.
Clearance?
Yeah.
75 off?
It's nice. Just something to have, since they played the game in New Jersey, actually.
Yeah.
But, anticipation of that game was like, it was going to be a great game and maybe one of those last drive type of, game-winning drives to end it. But disappointing. I turned it off at halftime.
Yeah.
Halftime, I was turning it. I went back to it to see that, what the score was, but disaster. Remind me back of in the 90s with the blowouts with the Niners and the Cowboys and so it's never a good game when it gets to be like the score out of hand. So
very disappointing.
Just to touch on it for another second or so, Manning didn't seem like Manning in that game for whatever reason. He wasn't shouting, doing the hand signals, right?
Well, supposedly they figured him out.
No.
That's what I read. They figured out his hand signals.
But he's been doing that for years, and no one has figured him out. I don't think I buy that myself. I don't think I buy it.
Yeah, no.
But again, there was rumors too on the internet, which may not be true or may be true, that they were paid off, the Broncos, to blow it. I mean, it sure looked like they freaking blew the game. They laid down, right? It looked like they laid down, but
you talk about blowing it, a safety, 12 seconds into the game.
The snap that goes over the head, I mean, that really never happens.
How many people did that?
It's just crazy, but
throw a kink in their plans.
You know what? We'll leave that for Jamie's show. He's the sports show. Jamie Hicks in the bleachers. We'll leave that for those guys to argue. We'll get back to soccer. All right, as I was saying earlier, Super Mario Balotelli from AC Milan scored what I think is one of the best goals probably in a long time. Not just this year, because we're only a month and a half in, but I think the goal was from about 40 yards out. And, this guy's been taking heat, Frank, again recently, maybe the last couple of months, from the fans, from the media, the racial stuff. It's got to stop, man. This guy is like gold. Every time he touches the ball, all right, he does great things with it. And I just don't understand. I don't think it's the fans, like his hometown fans. It's got to be, the away fans and stuff like that. They're getting on him, and even the media. It's just they're like trying to find something on him. They're looking to get something to write negative about him. But anyway, I think he's doing a good job of not really going for it, biting. So anyhow, his team is not playing well this year. AC Milan, they're like in the middle of the pack, and we'll go over the standings in a little bit. But I do have a clip that I would like maybe if Brian in a second is ready to show it. We can show this goal. All right, I think he's going to show it in a second here. We just need some sound. And you see that, Frank? Well, they're going to show it again. We'll just play it again from the start, in case we missed anything. And Frank, now, his whole team, excluding the keeper. Here's the play again. All right, Bologna with the ball. Turnover. AC Milan recovers. Pass to Balotelli. Balotelli, head down, shoots the ball, and he scores. What a goal by Mario. Super Mario. And look, no reaction out of him. Okay, that's the way he gives it back to all his, not his supporters, but all his haters. And that was his coach right there. That was the head coach, Sadov, that just took over about a month ago. But now every player on his team came over to hug him or kiss him on the head. That's respect right there. And here's another look at it. Look at this. Look at that. And there's not a goalie in the world that's going to get that ball. You know why? It's right in the corner of the net. There's no one getting that ball. All right, take another look at Mario, Super Mario. And Frank, I'm going to say it now, and that's the proud owner of AC Milan right there. I'm going to say it now, for the World Cup coming up in June, we got, Mario playing for Italy national team. And I think he needs to really take his if there's any frustration in him, take it out on the net, on the ball. And really get the World Cup, number one. That's the main goal. Okay, it's not an individual stat, but the main goal is to get the World Cup. If Italy could win the cup, and if Mario could get the most goals in that tournament, he could shut everybody up. I don't think and no one else could. And I'm sure they'll still find something, but again, he'll do it. And, there's really not going to be any more talk about him being anything else other than a great player. They'll probably make a statue of him and put it somewhere in Rome, the capital of Italy there. So, any thoughts on Super Mario?
Looks like he's been eating a lot of mushrooms. Super Mario, I like his haircut, too.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a blonde for a while?
He was blonde. He switches it up here and there. But I tell you, I mean, if there's any like a role model, like I think he's got to be it for Italian kids, you know, in Italy, Milan.
Well, you look at him. It's just like you said. Just look at the way that he went around. He went about his business.
Yeah.
He scored the goal and just
Didn't even celebrate.
You know.
Didn't celebrate. Every teammate came up to him and hugged him or kissed him on his head. That's respect right there.
Yeah.
That's total respect. So, and I'm sure it didn't show it on the clip, but I'm sure the other team was freaking amazed by it. And if they could have, they would have went over and hugged him too. But they're not going to do that. But you know, I'm sure after the game they said, and that was just so everyone knows. I don't know if that was a game-winning goal in the 87th minute of the game. So that was not only a great goal, it was a game winner.
Yeah. Game winner. I think the only goal scored in the game, right? They won the game 1-0.
1-0. Yeah, it was 0-0 until he took that shot. But Milan played today in the Champions League and they got shut out 1-0. You know, they're not having a great season. So, but he is a great player. So anyway, what do we got here on the news front, Frankie? Let's get. I think we're pretty much wrapped up with stuff on the island.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really much going on.
Right now, it's just been a little quiet. So, you know, things will obviously pick up. I think March. You know,
Next
we'll have
month,
more to report.
Well, just so you know, before you start that, we're halfway through the show. I did get into contact with of a couple of clubs. One being Silver Lake via YouTube. They saw one of our shows and they would like to be on the show. So we scheduled them for next month, and it's a U15 boys team.
Okay.
And hopefully we could get the larger studio and we can maybe have the whole team on in one shot. And,
okay.
You know, get some intake, you know, from the kids.
Yeah.
How they started out, you know, I think it's better interviewing the young ones, right?
Yeah. You know, it always makes it interesting to hear. You know, kids obviously get excited. You know, they hear TV and things like that, especially live.
I'm sure they deserve it. Hopefully they've won a couple of trophies and championships that they can bring and maybe they want to show off.
I'm sure with that program, that won't be a problem for them.
Silver Lake, right. All right,
right,
so we're looking forward to that. That's for next month. You know, we'll see. I'll make contact with them and we'll see what we can do. All right, what do we got on the? Let's go to straight to the international.
Yes, speaking about Italy, as we were before, we have their coach Cesar Prandelli made headlines recently that he may not want to remain with the team as the World Cup.
Yeah, he doesn't want to remain with the team. I think he wants to coach like on an everyday basis. Right, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you know,
that's what he mentioned, right?
He said he misses, you know, he's going to miss the daily work, but he's happier, I believe, with that role. He said he's going to make a decision, you know, before they leave. He's actually going to make this decision before they go to Brazil.
Really?
So he'll know.
That could be a distraction. I got Brian LaPure here trying to give us a message. Yes, Brian. Mario Balotelli
is an adopted Sicilian.
Right. He's Sicilian. Born in Italy.
Yes.
Yes. And his father's biological father from Ghana.
He should be living in the other city.
Yeah.
You know which one?
Yes.
My
Atlanta. Yeah, his biological father's from Ghana. He was born in Sicily, Mario Balotelli. That's just to wrap up on Mario. Yeah, I mean, if he announces that right before the World Cup, that could be a distraction.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good move.
Yeah, you know, at first, the way that I first read it when I skimmed it over, it sounded like he was going to make the decision once they broke from Brazil. But, yeah, now I'm reading it over, and it says he's going to make the decision before they get there.
Then again, you know what? These guys are all professionals. You know what? If your coach comes, he leaves, he stays, you still got a job to do, you know?
Yeah.
So just go out and do it, you know?
It's always, you know, you toss and turn about decisions like that.
Yeah.
do you make the announcement going into your last season, or do you just go through your last season and say, okay, goodbye?
I think I don't know if that's a smart thing or not, but what I would do is, well, I can't really talk because I made a decision in the middle of the season to quit. So, I guess as a professional, at the end of the season would probably be the best time. Just call quits at the end.
And just
don't give anyone any kind of an idea either. Just keep it low, keep it to yourself. If you're gonna, as a coach, even as a player, we could get into a baseball guy that did it, which I know the reason why he did, and that he could deny it all he wants. But as a coach, I think you keep it to yourself until the season's over, and then you bring your team in, you discuss it with your team, and then you bring it out, the public. I think that's as a professional.
Some people like long goodbyes.
Yeah.
This way they feel like it's like their farewell tour, and I can understand that. And I see where you're coming from as well.
Yeah.
Where you just want to get everything.
Well, you see, national team coaches it's not a full time. It's like a part-time job because they're not with the team. He's not with the team every day like you would during a regular season for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like day in and day out. He's really not with them every day.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a little different. Maybe that's why I said when the Italian team, you know what? If I'm a player on that team, all right, I'll miss you, but it's not the end of the world. It's not like you're my everyday coach. I see you every day. It's a little different. We see each other months go by before we hook up again. So, but they do. I mean, he is a great coach. So, yeah, I just think it's best after the World Cup and not before. Good luck to you. You know what? Why don't you just at the end, if you win it all, then you could say you're quitting now. But anyhow.
Yeah,
Just to switch sports for a second, Derek Jeter's made his announcement, right?
Yes,
and
he did.
Press conference today and all that. With him, I could see it. It's like a business move with him also, because he may not agree to it, but now everyone's gonna rush to see a Yankee game, right?
Yeah.
In Tampa right now for spring training. In New York, when they come to New York, they're all gonna pack the house. They want to see Jeter's could be his last game that they go, whatever fan. So.
And let's not also forget, as I mentioned on my show last week, I think his last ever game is going to be in Boston.
Yeah.
So, how many?
Well, that's
fans
not far.
They're
road games also, especially the ones on the East Coast.
Yeah, Baltimore, I know, is a big hot spot.
Oh, Yankee
There's
fans.
a nice park over there at Camden Yards as well.
Yankee fans, half that stadium is Yankee fans. Boston too. They'll go down to Boston. They'll go down to Tampa. They play Tampa throughout the year.
Yeah.
There's plenty of fans out there. So it's just, it was like a money, like sell out tickets. Announce it now, and they'll probably take care of him. The only thing, I don't want to stick on baseball too much because we're not, But he said today that he wants to start a family. Is he married?
No.
Don't you have to have a woman first to start? I mean, how do you do it? How's that work?
In today's day and age, you can do anything you want to do.
I mean, where's this girl? Unless she's gonna adopt, I don't know. That's not a bad thing.
I mean, he did mention something about possibly get married, although
to who?
He's really been kind of quiet all these years on, who he's dating, if anybody. We've known a few people here and there, but
anyway, we could go on all night with this stuff, who, what, where, and when. But anyway, again, good luck to him. He was a great Yankee. He's always going to be a Yankee. So
yeah, you put 20 years in. Yeah. You won 5 or 6 championships.
The guy asked him today if he had a good season, would he continue playing? He shut it down. He said no. That's when he went into, I want to have family. I want to do different things. So. That's when I was like, "Where's the girl? Don't you need a woman or something? Be married, maybe."
Anything's possible now.
So anyway, what else we got going on, Frank?
Another thing I'm looking at right now is Donovan, Landon Donovan.
Oh, another guy.
At his last chance.
Oh my gosh.
In Brazil, 2014.
Last chance for what? What's he doing?
Last chance to win a cup. You know, you never know. It's a long shot.
Maybe he can have a cup of soup, but he's not winning the World Cup. That's for sure.
He's turning 32, and he says he don't even know if he's going to be able to walk on the field in 4 years when he's 36. So,
you know, this guy to me, this guy is real funny, Frank, because he's the one that quit last year. All right, he's the one that retired from the LA Galaxy. Then he had then he wanted to come back. He wanted some time off from the sport. He had to come back and prove himself, which he did in the U.S. Cup, and where the Americans won that cup. I don't know with this guy, man. He's always quitting. He's always thinking, hey, look, it's either you're in it or you're not. You got to be 100%. You can't have any doubts. Just leave him, cut him now. Cut him off the team now. I mean,
I never understood why people retire and unretire so many times.
He retired a year ago when he came back. You know, I mean, you're making all this money. Stop complaining.
I understand having second thoughts sometimes, but the way that a lot of athletes do it nowadays, how could you retire 2, 3, 4 times?
I don't know.
You know? All right, you made a bad decision once. You're entitled to that. You feel like you still got something left to go. You come back. But after that second time, you know, and it's becoming more so, I think, as, you know, we get into the future.
I think this guy, but you know, to his credit, he is a good player. He's definitely he could definitely help out a team any way he goes, any way he plays. He can definitely produce. It's just the uncertainty. Like, he wants to quit. He wants to come back. Then he's got to prove himself all over again. So, you know.
He's saying that he's probably going to play midfield, and according to him, he's not even guaranteed a spot.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this is going to be the deepest roster that the U.S. has had.
It's probably
this
is,
century.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is probably going to be, and I don't see him being left off right now unless you know, these next couple of months here he does something, you know, to be left off. But I don't see him. I think he'll be selected. Yeah, he is a midfielder. He's a playmaker. That's what he turned out to be now. You know, but again, he's still a threat. He's still someone that you, as the opponent, have to watch for.
Yeah,
he's still a threat. All right, so yeah, he's definitely in. So, what was his final decision?
He's not shutting the door, you know, to 2018 in Russia.
Yeah.
He's looking forward to some sort of dream match against Brazil, but.
Oh, U.S. and Brazil, the final.
Don't put everything in your pocket.
Was he talking about PS3 playing, you know, on FIFA 14 maybe?
Yeah.
Video game?
Yeah.
Is that what he's talking about? Because it's not happening in real life.
Maybe.
Forget that. All right, we're going to switch the scene from the United States to the European League. Serie A, the Italian League, Frank. Well, I got the standings right here. And we were just talking about AC Milan. We're going to go right to the middle of the pack. And I see them sitting at number 9, Frank. Number 9. This is the most current. I printed as of yesterday. They're sitting in the 9th spot with, I think they have about 10 games to go. 28, 30, 10 to 12 games to go. So if they want to, now the Champions League, when they're playing the Champions League, I believe it's the top 4 teams. So if they want to get into the Champions League for next year, they got to get into this group. Now, can they do it? Let's see. They have 32. 44. It's not a lock for Fiorentina to hold the 4th spot. But again, you know, especially if they play each other, it's 3 points that they can make up. They gotta start winning some games, you know. You know, this game today that they lost doesn't affect the league because it's the Champions League game. Doesn't affect this standings. But I'm hoping that they can get back into the top 5 maybe. All right, Juventus is running away with this division here, the standings, 63 points. Frank, 20 wins, 1 loss, and 3 ties for Juventus. And that's 3/4 of this team is the Italian national team. All right, they're 63 points. 12 points ahead of AC Roma, which is having a surprise season. 16 wins. They only have one loss with 6 ties. So, Roma, I think Roma's a safe bet to finish second. Napoli's going to hang around. Fiorentina's the surprise team. I know you don't follow the city too much, but Fiorentina was always down. Okay, they made a good progress. They made.
Well,
Well, it's not finished yet. There's still a couple months left, but they'll be in the Champions League next season. What do we got here? Inter Milan. Excuse me, Frank. I got this aching throat here.
Yeah.
Inter Milan, it's definitely made a comeback too. Parma's, you know what? Torino. There's a few teams up here, like even Hellas Verona. That's another team that was always on the bottom. If you're in the top 10, you're good.
Yeah.
All right. I think that'll cover the standings there. We got some MLS news to report. Frank, just take this for a second. The MLS report.
All right. So what do we got here? Toronto quiet on Caesar deal.
The former international goalie from Brazil.
Toronto refused to confirm a deal for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think it's a done deal. That's the second international player that they've acquired. FC Toronto from the MLS.
Wow.
All right.
Has refused to comment on the deal for the 34-year-old.
Yeah.
Head coach Ryan Nelson has confirmed that there were talks, but has denied
it looks like
anything.
it's going to be. It definitely looks like it's going to be a done deal. Now that's going to really make that team a really good team, Toronto FC.
Yeah.
And it's gonna.
Yeah. So far they're denying it. So.
I mean, they're young. I mean, they're not young players. They're players that probably in Europe passed their, like he passed his prime. He played with, if I'm not mistaken, which Inter? I think it's Inter Milan. And he played with Brazil national team for many years. So, again, he's not washed up. It's definitely an improvement from what they had.
Well,
and they also signed Michael Bradley, which played in Rome and is on the U.S. national team. So.
Hello?
So they are definitely making some progress. Yeah. All right, we got a call. Brian is saying we got a call. All right, you're on the Staten Island Soccer Report. Caller.
Hi, how's it going? I'm just calling. I watch your show and kind of a big fan of you guys. I think you guys talk about a lot of good things, and for the kids, it's great. I was just wondering what your take was on, how all the weather is affecting the games, and are those games going to be made up, or do they?
No, I don't think any games are being played outdoors now. So there's really nothing going on the outdoors.
Oh, okay. Has the weather affected a lot of kids and parents being able to take their kids to the indoors?
Yeah, well, I believe that the weather did affect a couple of maybe the Friday, the weekend games that they had scheduled. So. Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of cancellations going on past couple of weeks due to Mother Nature.
I just wanted to say I'm a fan of you guys, and I'm going to continue watching.
All right, thanks for the call.
Thanks again.
All right, so, yeah, I mean, again, Toronto FC, big improvements, and it's going to show on the field. The Red Bull, I haven't seen anything really from the Red Bull yet, so. But, that's New York for you. Excuse me. Sticking with what you got, when you lost, they were the best record last season.
Yeah.
And they lost in the first round of the playoffs. And to this point, have not acquired anybody. So, I mean, to really anyone with quality, like a name brand.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. They might have made some small deals, but nothing big. All right, let's see. Then on the women's side, we're going to switch over to the women's side. Yeah, why not? I believe there was a wedding not too long ago.
Wedding.
One of the U.S. women's players, I believe, got married.
Oh.
Yes. Does that ring a bell? Maybe Brian on the other side of the glass Brian, who got married on the women's national team? Alex Morgan. Yes. Who did she marry? He doesn't know. Well, congratulations to Alex Morgan. She did get married.
Yes.
I believe it was a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Right? I saw that on some social network.
Yeah, I believe I
Right?
noticed
Yeah,
that myself.
So congratulations to her and her spouse. Partner's very lucky. I can guarantee you that one. But speaking of the women's team, Frank, they just completed a 2-game set against Russia. 2 games they played. And if I'm not mistaken, Frank, the final score was 15-0 in 2 games. 15-0. I'm trying to find the sheet that I have. Yeah.
I got a name.
All right. Brian's got a name.
Servando Carrasco of Houston Dynamo.
That's who she married?
Yeah.
Okay. Never heard of her, but good luck to both of them. Yeah. Okay.
Servando. He's from Coronado, California.
All right. Very good. Yeah. Is he a soccer player also?
Yes.
Oh, well,
I
that's.
said Houston Dynamo. How could you not know it was a football team?
Well, I didn't know if he was a coach or a player or a
Player.
trainer.
He's a midfielder.
Okay. Boy, can you imagine those kids? Soccer stars, boy. It's in the
He used to
gene.
play for the Sounders.
Seattle Sounders, right? Okay.
Although you never know, you know.
I gotta
Yeah.
bet. I'm gonna bet and say that their kids are gonna be soccer players. It's in their parents' genes. I mean,
Yeah.
you're right about
Players, yes, but
stars. Yeah, you never know if they'll
you,
be stars.
you
You're
just
right.
never know, like, as far as interest,
Right.
as far as just whole
Well,
temperament
you
and
know-
thinking that things are going to be handed to them.
I can't really think off the top of my head about any like soccer, like a Pele with his son or a Kinali with his son. But I know in football, right off the top of my head, Phil Simms and his 2 sons became quarterbacks.
Yeah.
They both played professional.
Yeah.
No success like their father.
Yeah.
But it may or may not happen. You're right. You know.
But there's a good bet that that kid's going to live and breed soccer for the first,
yeah.
handful of years.
Yeah. And that's the good part about it. That's
Yeah.
good because, and that's, you know what?
Get them young, right?
Yeah. See, like Mia Hamm, I don't know if she had any kids. Mia Hamm. She married a baseball player.
Yes.
How does that work? What are they going to raise the kid to be? Say they have a boy. What's going to happen there?
I don't know. Maybe
Well, you
they,
play both.
maybe they're going to lob like some soccer balls or softballs. And,
You could do both sports. That's all. Deion Sanders did it. Right?
yeah.
He flew from one stadium to another. He played football in the day and baseball at night, or vice versa. So, whatever. More power to you. So, getting back to the U.S. women's team, Frank, and that's one team that you can never really knock. No matter who they plug in there, they're always on top. They're always like producing great girls, great players. 15 goals in 2 games against Russia. I mean, again, Russia's not anything to brag about. You know, Germany, Brazil, Japan. Those are the top teams.
Where's the excessive win?
It doesn't count. Not in professional sports. And they call that a friendly. Boy, 15 goals is not really a friendly.
Yeah, that doesn't seem too friendly to me.
2 different venues for the games. I think one was in the Georgia Dome. They had to move that game indoors. You know, the caller just asked about canceling. Yeah, they had to reschedule that game from outdoors in Atlanta because of the snow. That storm, the last storm we got, came from Atlanta.
Got an update on Mia Hamm.
Brian's got an update on Mia Hamm. What do we got?
She's married to former Boston Red Sox.
Yes.
He was traded to the Chicago Cubs.
Right.
Nomar Garcia Parra.
Yes, we knew that. Yeah, I knew that. Thank you. But you know what? He's a baseball guy.
Right.
How did she get mixed up with a baseball guy? Yeah.
Because he's Nomar
Nomar Garcia Parra. Right. Does she have any kids? Do we know? Can we look that up? Maybe let us know before the show's up. Let's see what their kids are into.
Now, were they actually dating, like, at
Yes.
Mia Hamm's height?
She has
Like
2
in,
kids.
like,
She has
girls.
2 girls. Oh, great. They'll be soccer players on the U.S.
And a
national
son.
team. And a boy. Okay.
Now, when did they start dating?
It was some time now. It was some time.
Was it in the 90s? Like
Yeah,
when she was still playing?
I think so, because she would go to his games and he would
There
be
must
at
have
her
been
games.
some power couple, because that was when Nomar was at his height.
Yeah.
Like, let's say in 2000.
Yeah, right.
Because he was the face of the Red Sox before
Thank you,
Manny
Brian.
took
Thanks.
over.
No, yeah, he was. I would see him at a lot of her games and vice versa. They would show her at baseball games and stuff. Yeah, no, they've been together a long time, and it's great. But again, I know I'm a little biased towards soccer, so hopefully the kids, all three of them, are playing soccer. The hell with baseball, excuse my language, even though it's number one in this country.
Well,
so the women's team, Frank, again, I mean, they're not surprising me. They're right on course, and I see what they're doing, and which is this new coach is bringing up some players and giving the older girls a rest. You know, they're starting this year. They got to play qualifying games for the World Cup next year, and that World Cup is in Canada. So
the thing is, like, for a soccer player, their prime and their shelf life really goes. You're considered old at what, 30, 31?
Well,
you know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Landon Donovan, they practically got him in a walker at 32 years old.
Well, he did that. It's self-inflicted a little bit of that stuff too, because he complains about wanting rest. So that's a little self-inflicted. Again, Jeter's what? How old is Jeter?
40. He's gonna be 40.
And he just started to say breaking down a year ago, right?
It's a little bit different of a sport, though. I'm sure soccer takes more on.
It takes more on, but they still have to have that longevity. 20 years of playing anything is still a lot.
Well, yeah.
20 years.
I guess soccer players for better or worse, maybe conditioned better.
Right.
Due to the fact that there is
Baseball
more.
players do a lot of training.
Oh, yeah,
too.
absolutely. I don't want to take anything away from that.
We don't see it on the baseball game field, but they do a lot of that training and exercising stuff, just like soccer players do. Football players do the same thing.
Yeah.
So basketball players do the same thing. They have to stay in shape. Again, with Donovan, I think he's just, I don't know. I really don't know where his head is, really. I mean, just when it's all gone, he's going to want to come back.
Well.
When he can't come back, and he is 50 years old, and he's going to hear, oh, Donovan wants to make a comeback, Play the damn game while you can and be happy, and that's it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, again, with the women's team, I'm really impressed with the new girls, the young girls that they're bringing up. And I was watching, and I kind of got like I had to turn it off. It was like 5-0 first half, and I was like, all right, they're going to win the game. We already know they're going to win. But they're bringing up quality players time in and time out. And this starts from the bottom, all right?
Yeah.
They have this great chain of, like, youth players. Just they keep bringing them up. And, I think they're going to make a run. They have to qualify. It would be a shock if they don't. But they'll qualify for the World Cup, and they'll make a run for it. Again, Frank, they haven't won a World Cup since, I think it's 99. Brian, can we check the United States women's team real quick before we go off the air? 99 was their last World Cup, I believe. I think it's been since 99, the Mia Hamm.
Yeah, I remember specifically. I remember
and
where I was.
That's a shock right there.
I had a party to go to that night.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the living room watching. Yeah. She was the one that took her top off, right?
No. Who? No, Mia? No.
Somebody did.
Yeah, Christine.
I don't remember.
It wasn't Mia.
I remember sports bra.
Yeah, no, it wasn't Mia. But, to their credit, they've won Olympics. They won the Olympic golds and all that stuff, but nothing compares to a World Cup. That's like the ultimate trophy that they want. And, this Abby Wambach, she definitely deserves a World Cup. She's on her way out. She's on her downside of her career. So she definitely next year has got to see it. Hope Solo also going downwards, These players are in their 30s. So if Brian could get that for us, great. I'm pretty sure, 99.9%, I think the last World Cup for the women's was in 99.
They came close against, who was it? It was China?
Japan beat them 3 years ago. Japan beat them in the World Cup.
that was
Where did
like
Japan come from? It was a
the
fluke.
overtime game, right?
Yeah. Well, no, might have been penalty kicks.
Penalty
It
kick.
might have been.
I remember being on the phone with you
Yeah, it was.
and the game.
That was bad. I mean, but you know what? It's got to make you hungrier. It really has to. All right. If he doesn't, I'm pretty sure it's 99.
Yeah.
So,
I believe it was too.
All right. Women's team continued to dominate. One last note here before we go, and then we'll have another show. We'll see you guys back live in March. I think right around St. Patty's Day, a couple of days after
Yes.
St. Patty's Day, right? The Women's National, the NWSL. That's the Women's Soccer League.
Yes.
The only one in this country, right? There's let's see, Boston, Chicago, KC, Portland, Seattle, Blue Sky. I believe they're from Jersey. I think they're a Jersey team. Washington. We got Western New York, and we have Houston. So they're gonna start their season April 12th. Frank, the New York team lost in the finals last year, which another disappointing. Great regular season, only to lose in the finals. All right, we're getting a signal from Brian that we're going to wrap up. Any last thoughts, Frank, before we sign off here?
No, just happy that by the time next time that we see these viewers, the snow will be cleared and we'll be ready to play ball.
Well, let's hope. Keep our fingers crossed that the snow will be gone. We don't get a March Madness snowstorm, you know? You never know. We can't mess with Mother Nature. And you know what? We got a couple of current players and one hopefully future player. She's telling me when she's 9 years old she wants to play. Unbelievable. I think we have a couple of players that want to maybe come in the studio and like raid us, start jumping around.
Oh boy!
If they want to come in, the girls, we got a couple of girls. Come in real quick. Let's get their take.
We better get the riot gear on.
Let's get their take. Come on in. How you doing? How you girls doing?
Good.
Where
I'm
you girls?
really good.
Do you play on a team?
Yes.
What team do you play on?
I play on.
Come into the mic. Come into the mic real quick.
I play on the Richmond Town Lightning.
Okay, what team do you play on, Marie?
The Great Kill Starlets.
Speak into the mic so everybody can hear
Great
you.
Kill Starlets.
The Great Kill Starlets and the Richmond Town Lightning. Do you guys ever play against each other? You don't know? Did you ever play, Jake? Did you ever play against each other? No?
I think we did.
You did? No, I don't think you did. All right, well, there's the music, girls. You girls know what to do. Take over the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching the Staten Island Soccer Report. We'll see you soon.